Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of, what are we gonna call it, right? Is everybody tuned in and ready? Because I've had an amazing week thinking about what I'm gonna do with this new idea, moving into my new office. I'm inside again this week, partly because I love my new office. Partly because it's super windy outside, and even if I wanted to sit out there because it's warm, you guys wouldn't hear anything. So, any case, here we are with the big reveal. I have some notes, of course, for this week's episode because my brain has been crazy. But I have it. I want to thank Babs and Renata and Janine and Maura and Grace for all writing in and messaging me and giving me their opinions about what they thought a good title for the new Sunday vlog would be. And I finally have it. So here we go. Let's try that again. Hi everybody, and welcome to No Bullshit with Becca. And that's it, you guys. That's the title I ended up with. I also have a few little goodies scattered throughout that people kind of shared with me. I'm going to be trying out some new ideas as we kind of go along with this new plan, this new action. In any case, I'm a little bit low spoons today, not as bad as I've been in the last couple of weeks. It's been a few weeks of a lot of really intense, what's the word? I want to say anxiety, but it wasn't all anxiety. It was just a lot of physical activity as well. And, well, you know what it was really? Let's talk about it. It was a transition. In our community, in the autism community, and really throughout the world, we talk about things in certain times of your life as a transition, right? And this is the other thing I'm going to try to do. So let's see if I can get it on. There you go. So I have a whole odd collection of cat mugs and funny mugs and things like that I've been given over the years. And so I'll try to do a new mug each week or something. So this is my mug for this week. I'm having coffee. Sunday is the day I allow myself to have coffee. My stomach doesn't allow it the rest of the week. So the rest of the week it's tea. But this is on Sunday it's coffee. So I hope you're having coffee with me. In any case, where was I? Transitions, right? So in our community, we talk about them a lot. We know that transitions are a struggle for an autistic brain. It's really hard for us to kind of break away from a routine that we know. It's not even that we have to love it. It's just a routine that we know. And that is alone enough to be an anxiety provoker. So we know that for younger kids who haven't yet developed kind of sophisticated coping tools, that, a transition can be a provoker of behavior. So people start to see behavior. So what we do in the autism community, we like to talk about them a lot. We prepare for them. We prepare parents for them all the time, a transition. And so they happen, right? Elementary to middle school, big transition. Middle school to high school, another really big transition, right? And then again, high school to college, and then college to adulthood. That's exactly where we're at with the community. Oh, right. They're going to be adults. Yeah, we are. And a lot of us are. And guess what? Here's another spoiler for you. Transitions continue all the way through your life, and they are not just for the autism community. Wah. So bullshit on that. I am calling bullshit. Transitions happen for all humans all throughout their lifespan. They get packaged differently, but it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable whether you're autistic or not. A transition is a period of relearning how to be the best you possible. And that can be really hard. So for those of us who are lovers of routine, like most of us on the spectrum are, a transition means a big disruptor, right? So guess what? Let's talk about some of those non-existent adult transitions, right? So after college, adulthood, right? Okay, you're at your first job. You've made it successfully to that first place, right? But now you want to quit, or maybe you get fired. Well, there's another huge transition. What if you decide you fall in love with someone and you want to live with them, you move in with them? Another transition. Get married, transition, have kids, transition, divorce, transition, and of course the ultimate transition, death, right? I mean, to say that transitions don't continue throughout our lives is sort of a ridiculous thing. So what we should be doing is teaching our kids as they struggle through transition periods is how to be resilient through your transition periods, right? How do you recreate what's comfortable for you? How do you deal with it on that stuff, on that level, right? So that's where I've been. I have been in a transition. I am still in a transition. It's probably going to take me quite a bit of time to properly transition until I'm comfortable. And that's not to say this whole thing has been unpleasant, right? I'm so happy. I mean, look how much I love my new office. But at the same time, right, it's one of those gray day things. There it is. I'm so happy for all of these new things in my new life and all of that. But it means sleep hasn't been so great. It means my eating has been kind of whack. I've had to kind of configure where I'm keeping things, what my routine is. And I'm somebody who does a lot of work with, intentional stuff. I really plan my days intentionally and I do my activities with a lot of intention. So it really was a big disruptor. So when I say I'm low on spoons, don't wonder why, right? I mean, I was beating myself up for it, but really, no reason. Bullshit. My own bullshit. Because that's the thing about bullshit, right? It's not always everybody else's bullshit. Sometimes you have your own bullshit. And you got to call yourself on that too. So yeah, stop beating yourself up, Becca. You're in a transition, Becca. Bullshit, Becca. It's okay to be tired. So that's where I'm at. I'm here with you guys in my pajamas, in my office, having my Sunday cup of coffee, and kind of sharing that with you. And together, we're going to cut through the shit, really. That's what I really want to do. So I'm going to go back to my trusty list now because I had so many good thoughts for you guys this week. It's crazy. Oh, right. Okay. So here is the other thing. I have this little pet peeve. I'm somebody who really encourages other people and shares everybody's stuff and all of these things. And sometimes I get really self-conscious about whether or not people appreciate what I do or what I'm doing. And so I get really oh, this feels crappy. I don't do enough. Maybe that's why they're not sharing my things. Maybe that's why this meme or in particular wasn't popular, or what am I missing? And I think a good chunk of what I've been missing is this authenticity, this just real Becca-ness, because it's what people get when I do speaking engagements, because I can't really fake it all the time, especially when I care about something. So I was like, okay, but let's think about why I was beating myself up over this whole thing, right? It comes from a place, and that's a place of a little bit of resentfulness. I do a lot of work for our community, and most of the stuff that I do for our community, I do for free. And in a time like this, when I'm without a job and I'm not comfortably having income, it becomes an awareness that I give away a lot of my time, and maybe I shouldn't be doing it quite so much. So I kind of wanted to take stock of what it is that I do with my time, what it is that I'm giving away my time to, and maybe I wanted to recalculate those things. Maybe I want to keep doing them. So I made a list for myself. I'm going to share that list with you guys, and it's going to serve its dual purpose. Part of it is that I don't ever plug myself. I'm also that person. I'm so worried about everybody else's happiness and caregiving for all of the other people out there, and making sure I'm supporting everyone else, that I forget that I have to cheer myself on sometimes. So a little bit of this is plugs, and a little bit is just like, hey, Beck, reality check. You spend a lot of your time doing stuff for free and giving back to this community. So here was my list, right? Let's talk about the money of it, right? I mean, I'm somebody who's worked my whole life. Okay, so this is the concept of being truly somebody who works. Here's what I do for free, what I donate my time to. I run a Facebook group. It's called Neurodiversity Newsstand. You can find us on Facebook. I ask 3 questions to join, just so that I can eliminate trolls, bots, or people who are too snarky for their own good, maybe. I don't know. I get odd answers to the questions sometimes, but usually it's just to make sure that it's not a computer trying to get into our group. And so it's really positivity-based newsstand group, and we share all of the different articles and blogs and things that we find on the internet having to do with neurodiversity, the big conversations, the funny memes, anything we think is great. And of course, because it's my group, we share cat pictures sometimes. And so I love that group. And so we're a great group of people in there. It grew bigger than I imagined it would ever grow. But I love it. I love that I have a place to dump all of the articles that I read obsessively. And I have a place to kind of say, hey, I read this article. If you're into this stuff, read it. And that's really what that group has become for all of us. And some of us have found friends in there, and that's nice. And so that's my Facebook group. That's one of the things that I do for free. Another one of the things that I do for free, let's see, all of my social media, obviously. So Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, the whole deal, all of that is free. All of my time that I spend doing it, free, answering people on there, all of that, engaging with everybody. That's all time that I give away of mine. And let's see, what did I say? Writing. Oh, writing's a good one. So yeah, I write for myself a lot of the time, but you're not always writing for yourself. Sometimes you've been given a topic. Sometimes people ask for specific things for you to write about, and sometimes you're held to sort of writing obligations of it has to be this long, or it has to be this short, or it needs to not have these kinds of words in it, or it needs to say this, or whatever that may be. And so when it's that kind of writing, it's work, and I'm giving it away. The time that I'm taking to create it, the thoughts that I'm putting together to put it out there, and then it's out there forever. And I do that for free. So those kinds of writing pieces. I sit on boards. I sit on so many boards and through so many meetings for this. So many. And it doesn't pay. Sometimes, in fact, they ask you have to, as a board member, you have to actually donate back to these organizations as one of your board obligations. So sometimes it even can end up costing me money to be at the required board meetings and to donate if I'm required to, or that kind of thing. But I sit on a lot of boards. I give my opinion to the community when it's asked for, and I give it honestly. And so, yeah, that's another thing I do for free. Mentoring inquiries, that's another really fun one. I hate saying no to our community. So, I give people a one-off pretty much. If someone wants to ask me a quick question and I have the time to spare, I'll do my best to give advice. And so kind of throughout my day, whether it's online or in person or at a conference, I end up giving away my time to some mentoring too. And then lastly, my podcast. I do podcast on produced by different brains. It's on all of the different SoundClouds and iTunes and all that stuff. It's called Spectrumly Speaking. It's myself and Kate Cody, and we talk about all of the women of the spectrum. So by that we mean focusing on the women that give their time to this community, whether they're on the spectrum or not. And we just wanted to give a female-focused podcast. And so that's what we've got going on out there with Spectrumly Speaking. And so when I put all of those things together, that's an awfully big list, right, you guys? Not like a little tiny list. When I thought about how many hours a week I give up of my time to this, are you ready? It was something like 38 to 40 hours a week. Something like 38 to 42, roughly, hours a week that I do for free. So that means when I'm working a full-time job on top of it, like so many other advocates are also doing, we're doing 80-hour work weeks. And I think that when I look at it like that, well, sure, yeah, I have a right to get upset and sad and a little disappointed when people aren't sharing my stuff in return, because I put a lot of time into it. And maybe, just maybe, and here's where I'm at with it, you guys, for real, is maybe, just maybe, I need to stop doing so much of it for free, right? I don't know. Or maybe I just need to start doing more things that I charge for. I don't know. But there's something about that situation that is totally unsettling to me, and it produces these negative feelings for me. So there's something in there. And so I'm on the hunt, and that is my guess for that bullshit. Like, what is that negative bullshit about right there? So yeah. And I want to, make sure too that I do give back some of my time, because that was my other thought. Obviously, this is what I wrote. I said, how do you keep the balance between fun versus work and donating your time versus paid? Literally wrote that down. So that's something I'm actively working on, is keeping that balance. If I come up with some kind of great solution or something that works, I will of course share it with you. I will also share with you if something fails. Why? Because failure builds resiliency, and resiliency is what gets us through life. So I will share my fails with you as well. Something I thought about in terms of it, here was my last two thoughts. One, when it comes to this kind of thing and where and what you spend your time on and your energy on, I thought, well, there's one thing we have to do all the time is remember to know our value. right? That's all I care about, is I just want to make sure that I know that I have value and that other people respect the value that I have. That's really what it comes down to. And then lastly, I wanted to share with you guys a meme that had to do with this a little bit, and it said something like, if it doesn't provide you with inspiration, income, or an orgasm, right, it doesn't belong in your life. And I thought, well, that's sort of a shocky way of saying it, but that's sort of really true, isn't it, right? If it doesn't inspire you, if it doesn't afford you to live the life that you want to live, and if it doesn't bring you pure, unadulterated joy, right? Why are you spending energy on it? So I think that's my mission for you today. I think my challenge to you for the week is to look at your life. Think about what you're spending your time on. How much of it are you giving away for free? Are you spending your time doing what you want to be doing? And if not, bullshit on you, man. Go out there and figure out why you're not doing the things that you want to be doing, right? And look at your life through that lens, right? Does it inspire me? Is it providing me income, right? And does it give me joy? If it doesn't do one of those three things, probably chances are you don't really need it in your life. So that's my challenge to you guys this week. Again, it's no bullshit with Becca, and I am your truth teller, right? And this is your matrix moment, right? You can choose to live in the life of bullshit and not pull back the curtain and see what's going on, or you can choose to live the life of truth. And I'm choosing truth. I'm a truth teller, for sure. All right, you guys, I will see you next week. I am Becca Laurie Hector, your bullshit detector.